What are these?
Numbers.
Right. What number is that?
1.
Good job. Where does the 1 go? All right. What number is that?
2.
Good job. Where does it go? Good job. What number is that?
3.
All right. Where does the 3 go? Good job. Now what number is that?
4.
Good job. Where does the 4 go? Need help? You got it? What number is that?
5.
All right. Where does that go? What number is that?
6.
Good job. Where does the 6 go? Good job. What number is that?
7.
All right. Where does the 7 go? Where does it go? Good job. What number is that?
8.
8. All right. Where does it go? Good job. What number is that?
9.
All right. Where does the 9 go? Good job. What number is that?
10.
Excellent. Where does it go?
Alright, making numbers.
You're making the numbers? What number is that?
11.
Good job. Where does the 11 go? What number is that?
12.
Good job. Where does the 12 go? Where does it go? All right. What number is that?
13.
Good job. Where does the 13 go? Well done. What number is that?
14.
14. All right. Where does it go? Yeah. Good job. What number is that?
15.
15. Good job. Where does the 15 go? Good job. What number is that?
16.
Good job. Where does the 16 go? Whoop.
Woo.
Good job. What number is that?
17.
17. Good job. Where does the 17 go? What number is that?
18.
Where's the 18 go? Good job. Got 2 more. What number is that?
19.
Where does the 19 go? Last one. Last one. What number is that?
20.
20. Good job. Where does the 20 go?
20 go.
Good job. All right. Good job. What number is that?
1.
Good job. What number is that?
2.
Good job. What number is that?
3.
What number is that?
4.
What number is that?
5.
What number is that?
6.
What about that?
7.
What number is that?
8.
Good job. What number is that?
9.
What number is that?
10.
What number is that?
11.
What number is that?
12.
Good job. What number is that?
13.
Good job. What number is that?
14.
Good job. What number is that?
15.
Good job. What number is that?
16.
What number is that?
17.
Good job. What number is that?
18.
What number is that?
19.
Good job. Last one. What number is that?
20.
Look, Evie. Elmo's on the go letters. You want to
Open.
You want to open it? Let's see.
Let's say letters.
Got letters?
Letters. Letters. Letters.
What letter is that?
A.
Good job. Where does the A go? Good job. What letter is that?
B.
Good job. Can you put the B? What letter is that?
C.
Good job. Where does the C go?
D.
Good job.
A.
What letter is that?
D.
Good job.
And D was
What's next?
E.
What letter is that?
E.
Good job. Where does the E go? Good job. What letter is next? What letter is that?
F.
Good job. Where does the F go? What letter is that?
G.
Good job. Where's the G go? Good job. What letter is that?
H.
Good job. Where's the H go? What letter is that?
I.
Here you go. Where's the I go? Good job.
J.
What letter is that?
J.
Where's the J go? What letter is that?
K.
Good job. What letter is that?
L.
Good job. Where's the L go?
Ellison.
What letter is that?
M.
Good job. Where does the M go? What letter is that?
M.
N?
And.
Good job. Where's the N go?
And go.
What letter is this?
O.
Good job. Where's the L go? What letter is that?
P.
Good job.
This one.
Where's it go? All right. Need help? It's a tricky one. What letter is that?
K.
What letter is that?
Q.
Q. Good job. Where's the Q go? Good job. Need help? There you go. What letter is that?
R.
Good job. Where does the R go?
I have a J.
Need help? There you go. What letter is that?
S.
Good job. Where does the S go?
Holiday.
What letter is that?
T.
T. Good job. Where does it go? Good job. What letter is that?
U.
Good job. Where does the U go? What letter is that? What letter is that?
V.
V. Good job. All right. What letter is that?
W.
W. Good job.
W go.
Oh yeah, where's the W go? What letter is that?
X.
Good job. Where does the X go?
Monday.
What letter is that?
Y.
Good job. Where does the Y go? All right. Last one.
Z.
Z. Good job. Where does the Z go? Where does it go?
Daddy's turn.
Daddy's turn to do it? Okay. I think it goes right there.
A. B. C.
What letter is that?
D. E.
What letter is that? Good job.
G. H. I. J. K. L. M.
Good job. What is that?
N.
N.
O.
Good job.
P. Q. R. S. T. U. B. W.
Good job.
X. Y.
And
Z.
good job. You wanna play with the M&Ms? What color is that?
Red.
What color is that?
Orange.
Good job. What color is that?
Blue.
Blue. Good job.
Blue. Good job. Okay.
What color is that?
Green.
Green. Good job. What color is that?
Yellow.
Good job.
Yellow stone. Yellow.
What color is that?
Pink.
Good job.
Orange color.
You want to pour out a color?
Another car.
Let's pour the colors out. Here we go. Ready? Red. Can you do blue? Now what color?
Orange.
Orange. Now what color? Pink. You do it. Evie's turn.
Daddy's turn.
It's Daddy's turn. Now what color?
Green.
Green. Ready?
Green.
Last one.
Yellow.
Rainbow candy.
And then green. And then blue.
Yeah?
And then blue.
Can you put the red ones in here?
Good job, kiddo.
yellow one. Good job. Only the red ones go in this cup. Think we got all the red ones.
Blue one.
Blue ones? Okay. Good job.
Pink. What's pink? M&M's. I know pink.
Can you say rainbow M&Ms?
M&M's.
Good
I'll
job.
find the M&M's.
You're gonna find the M&Ms?
I'll find them. I'll find the M&M's. Uh-oh. Good job. Is it stuck?
Alright, put the pink ones in. Oh, we missed the blue one. What color's next?
Orange. M&M's.
Rainbow M&Ms.
Whoa. Oh, I need rainbow. Sorry, Mama.
The last one. Last orange one. Alright, good job. What color's next?
Oh, well.
Yellow.
Green one.
Uh-oh, a green one. Don't fall in, green one. This cup is for yellow only. What color's last?
Green.
Green.
Oh.
All the green ones. Here comes a bunch.
Oh, no. Hey, got one. Good job.
Good job. Let's put all the colors in this big jar.
Heart. Oh.
Here goes green.
Green.
What's next?
Blue.
Can you help? Here you go. Good job. What's next?
Orange.
Uh-oh. What you got there?
Yellow.
And pink. What that color? What color is that?
Red. Red.
Can you say bye-bye rainbow?
A rainbow.
Say bye-bye rainbow.